Hello everyone, happy Wednesday. Okay, this is take two. It is 1 o'clock. I have a little lesson for you all today on the virtue of patience. So I printed out my Pietra shorts. My plan was to make up, the plan was to make up a wearable muslin of the Pietra shorts. Obviously it uses less fabric, it uses less printer paper to figure out the fitting adjustments I needed to make to the pants before I make the, because I want to make all the versions. I want to make the wide leg full length ones, I want to make the wide leg cropped, and I also want to make the tapered cropped pants and then the shorts. But I thought making them in the shorts makes the best sense first so we can figure out fit, because then the fit will be the same for the other pairs, which I'm glad that I did that. So I printed off the pattern and then just forged right ahead with, I measured my pattern pieces with my rise versus the pattern's rise, because I think that's all I'm going to have to mess with probably, and I still think that. I do always do a 3/8 of an inch scoop out of the back crotch curve, which is just the shape of my rear end. I just need that. Anyway, that's not changing. I have refilmed how to shorten the rise so many times today. And then at the end of it, I got to looking and I realized that this pattern is actually, it's high rise, but it actually comes up above the natural waist. Like there's a little dip in the top of the pattern where it kind of, so it's supposed to come up above your natural waist a little bit. And I was like, well, son of a gun, because number one, I don't know that I want it coming up. I'm short-waisted, so I just don't have a lot of room to play with between my waistline and my bust line. So I'm not even sure that I want it up above my natural waist. Anyway, long story short, had I been patient and read through all of the directions and read through, oh my gosh, my eye got real, I don't even have filming lights on right now. Read through the instructions and stuff before starting to hack away at the pattern, I would not have wasted the morning. Not all the morning. We were doing schoolwork this morning, most of it. Anyway, another lesson is if you feel like things are becoming extremely complicated, especially when it comes to pattern alterations, and you feel like your head's going to explode, you're probably making it harder than it is. I have learned that one the hard way, and sometimes I have to remind myself that, and I have been reminded again that that is the case. So I completely recycled the pattern. Luckily, the shorts only take 20 pages, which I mean 20 pages is still a decent amount, but it's not like it was a gigantic file, but I have recycled it and I have reprinted it, which seems a little bit wasteful. And I know some of you out there are going to be like, if you had just traced it, but then I'd be wasting the tracing paper. And I really hate tracing. It really is a last ditch resort for me. I will do it, but I really hate doing it. So I really try to avoid it at all costs. Anyway, I have reprinted my pattern here. So we're going to go over to the cutting table, and I'm going to tape this back together, and we're going to cut it out, and the only adjustment I'm going to make to this is to do the scoop out of the back of the pant, and then I'm going to make it in muslin fabric. So this is not going to be a wearable muslin. Luckily, I haven't cut into any fabric in any of this yet, just paper. So I'm going to make an actual muslin, not a wearable muslin, just a muslin out of muslin fabric to check the fit. And then we're going to decide if maybe we can take the length out of the rise from the top of the pant. Karina did that, but she only had to take like 3/4 of an inch or something off her center front rise. If my calculations are correct, I need to take like 3 inches off. So yeah. So anyway, I want to see how these fit, because it may not need to be that, because I was measuring my Eddystones, actually, a pair of high-waisted pants that I like. So anyway, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to make up the muslin. Then we'll decide how much the rise needs to come down. I don't think it has to come down at all in the back. So it'll just be in the front, how much I need to lose in the front to make these fit me. And then we will know for sure. So that is the lesson for today. Now, all of this filming today has not been for naught, because I had Karen stand out again, and I think that I have fixed my camera angle for the above shot. So I have it on the same side of the table as me as opposed to across the table from me, and I have it angled properly. And I think, because I even started doing a little bit of editing just because I wanted to see what the angle was looking like, but I think I've got it zoomed in enough without running the risk of me going out of frame a lot. But I think I have it zoomed in enough for you guys to be able to see better as well. So I think I figured that out. Now you're not going to see any of that footage because that's just going to really confuse you with the subject matter. But I will shoot some more once we've made the muslin and decided what pattern alterations need to be made. I will put you back in that angle and you guys can let me know what you think. So it wasn't all for naught. I think I figured out a really good above me camera angle. So, okay. I'm going to take you over and time lapse you while I cut out my pattern and my muslin fabric. All right. Okay, so here's my muslin. I'm so glad I did it this way. I've got pinching right here just because I basted the elastic in because I want to use this elastic for the actual pair. Okay, so if I've done a stay stitch of the seam allowance. So these are supposed, my natural waist is right here, right above my belly button. So these are supposed to sit about there, and actually to have everything even, my back fits actually really great. I mean, that's just enough room. I mean, I can probably distribute the gathers a little bit better. Because they're kind of bunchy in spots, but I feel good about the way the back fits. So, which is what I suspected. So I like where it sits on the back. So I want the front to as well. And as sewn, this is what, it does. Very, I tuck in the seam allowance because there's a facing that goes in on the inside. Now, this is where my crotch is, and that's obviously quite a bit. So this is actually a trick that Linda Lee taught me. I have some thicker elastic here. Okay, so you pull the pants up to where you want the crotch to sit. That's a little too high. We don't want to. Okay, so we're gonna mess. So they're a little bit, I'm gonna try and do this in the mirror instead of the, so I want the back as is, but the front needs to come up. Okay, so when I have it where I want it, which is right there, so now you'll see how much higher it comes in the front than the back. I'm now going to take elastic, put it around my waist, my natural waist, and tie it. Try not to twist it. Easier said than done. Okay. So now we can see that is sitting right, and we can even move that because it's kind of twisty. So on the back it's sitting, I want the top of it to be where I want it on my waist. So in the back it's sitting right along the edge. And then you'll notice here in the front, this is where I have pulled things up. So basically, I want everything to be at the top of this elastic. So let me go grab a pen really quickly. All right, so now I'm just going to mark right above this elastic because I've got to move the boob out of the way. That's where I want it to sit. Make sure it's leaving a mark, and it is. Okay, so I want my waistband to be where the top of this elastic is, basically. And I think that that's sitting much better in the crotch and will be a much more comfortable pair of shorts for me. All right, so I'm gonna take them off and show you now what the plan is. All right, so here we go. Here are the shorts now that they're off of me. And I'm actually going to pull out, or at least release the elastic so we can be flat here. Okay, so here's the line that I drew of where I need my waist. And this is exactly how my pants need to fit. This looks very familiar to me. So first things first, we're going to take some measurements. So I'm measuring down from the seam line. So I'm not going to measure the seam allowance. So here at center front, I need to go down 1.5 inches. And then I'm basically nothing by the time I get to my side seams on both sides. At this, where my front panel piece attaches to the pocket, I go from 1.5 to 1.25 on both sides, about 1 1/8, I guess. We'll say 1 1/8. And then, yeah, again, nothing to there. Okay, so that's what I know. 1.5, and then 1 1/8 by the time I get to the outside, and then nothing when I get to the full side seam. So the pieces that we need are, let's see here. We need the center front leg, which is this piece right here. And then we need the pocket piece, actually, because we're just messing with the top part here. That's actually the pocket piece. So these are the two pieces that we need. So I'm going to pull my muslin away. So if you remember, we needed 1.5 inches down. So I'm just going to mark some little lines here with a pen. So 1.5 here, and then 1 1/8. Now, I also want to point something out. We measured down and we excluded the seam allowance here, right? But I'm measuring down here from the top because I still want the seam allowance on there. So, even though I'm measuring from the cut edge down, it's going to leave the 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So that's why I did that way. So I don't want to have any confusion there. And then this piece here connects up to this, and we'll go 1 1/8 to nothing at the side seam. So this allows us just to pretend like there's not seam allowances there. Okay, this is a hip curve that I've got. Or you could also use a find a good curve on like a French ruler, one of these as well. I really like the hip curve though for this particular thing. So I'm just going to mark that in like so. And then here, we will go at this line, and we want to go to nothing. So there we go. So then those should match up there, and this should all fit my body the way that it's supposed to fit. So I'm literally just going to cut at these lines here. And this again is a trick that Linda Lee taught at her class. She's got the best pattern alterations that are just no nonsense like that. And then we don't have to do anything to the back because it was fine once I got to my side seam. So now this matches the muslin that I marked. So then this will all pull up, and that's a great way to shorten your rise without having to mess with the lengthen and shorten lines, because I was messing with the lengthen and shorten lines, and because I don't have to remove length uniformly across here, because I needed it to go from, I think I'm out of frame there. I needed it to go from obviously 1 1/2 to 1 1/8, and then from 1 1/8 to nothing. You're going to have crooked lines. And it was messing up, obviously, the grain line, but also it was really messing up the truing of this piece here, because this gets folded up, and it was just a mess, which is the issue that I was having earlier. So I think this is going to be just a real simple way to fix that rise issue. So there we go. Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles had done that. She just trimmed that off. Oh, also, because we've done that, hold on, now I'm remembering, because I did watch Karina. She only had to take a little bit off, but you're also going to have to do the same thing to your facing pieces. Now remember, I'm matching the notches up here. This gets cut on the fold, so you'll have a seam allowance here, so don't worry about that. But I can see through this, so I'm just going to mark so that the top of that matches the top of my pant. So that's the front. So that should match perfectly, and it does. And then you've got your side facing. Which that's nothing. And again, I can see through this. Because you definitely want your facing to match. Okay, what it's being sewn into. All right, so there we go. Those should all match. My notches match, all that matches, the tops all match. All right, now we should be good to go. And then our back pieces, both the back and the back waistband were fine, so we don't have to do anything with those. Our side front leg doesn't get changed at all because it's down further on the leg. That's what causes or creates the whole pocket. And then you just have your pocket interfacing, which none of that changed either. So there we have it. That is how I'm going to alter this pattern. So now I'm going to actually cut out a for real pair of Pietra pants. I'm going to remove the I just basted elastic in on this side, but this length of elastic worked really well for me. So I'm going to unbase this and reuse the elastic that's in there. But yeah, so now I'm going to cut out this evening, probably after dinner. I cut the hem off these shorts when I was testing these so that I could see what the length was. And I liked the length as is, so I'm going to leave the length fine. So yeah, I'm just going to cut this out of actual fashion fabric. I have a linen blend that I've got that I'm going to use. It's a nice neutral color. And yeah, I'll take you along and time lapse you guys as I am sewing those up tonight, and then show you them when I'm finished. All right, so here are my finished pair of Pietra shorts. I really like these. I think that the adjustments that I made were just about perfect. You know, they've got the elastic in the back. They're really comfortable. They're sitting right at my natural waist all the way around. I have a little bit of ease in the crotch, but nothing that's, you know, I don't want them like way up there. It's like the perfect amount to where they're comfortable, but I don't look like I've got anything extra in my pants. It's a delicate balance. I'm clearly in my workout clothes. I just finished a workout. So yeah, I am very pleased with these. Okay, so yeah, I'm really pleased with the way that these turned out. That's crooked. There we go. I love the pockets on them. I love the flat front. I love that they're a little bit higher waisted. They're comfortable. Yeah, I think that the tweaks that I did to the waist worked really well. I didn't have to mess with the pockets or any of that. They still kept the original shape that the shorts were drafted for. So yeah, I'm very pleased with how that experiment ended up, and I really wish that I would have started there instead of the roundabout way that I came to finally get to this. A lot of, I shouldn't say wasted time. I did figure out the above angle, and let me know what you think about that. So that will be, obviously you've already seen that in the video. Let me know if that is much better or how you feel about that, or if I still need to mess around with it a little bit. But I think I'm getting a better hold on that. Yeah. Okay, so I've got to finish the sew along tomorrow. I mean, I have been procrastinating mostly because of frustration of not knowing where to put camera angles, and not just out there above me, but also camera angles around the machine so you can see the best. Just camera angles in general. But I've got to get that finished tomorrow. So that's my goal for tomorrow. But then you see tomorrow and Friday's vlogs together. And so I think I'm going to put the Pietra shorts away for now. I am going to make more pairs, at least one more pair, because I need them for the summer. But I'm going to put, I wanted to do the practice shorts first just to see what kind of adjustments I needed to make to the patterns before I cut into, number one, nice fabric, like really nice fabric, and number two, also before I like wasted a lot of fabric, because obviously the other pairs of pants have more fabric. So I think I'm going to delve into, I think I'm gonna do the tapered pants first and then go into the wide leg full length and the wide leg cropped. And then we'll come back and revisit the shorts and see what other fabrics I can find in my stash for the shorts. But you guys know that the linens that I've got that I have kind of earmarked for pants, for the Pietra pants. So that is my plan. Sew along, and then the tapered Pietra pants. So we are starting the Pietra pant rabbit hole. And then probably in May, I will delve into the Fjord skirt. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, thanks for hanging in there with me today, guys. I mean, you guys aren't even seeing everything that I went around. Yeah, it was, you know, when life gets that way, I just need to remind myself, step away, eat lunch, whatever you need to do, and then come back. It always works out fine. My tendency is just to know I'm gonna figure this out and dig in until I've just dug myself 6 feet into a hole when I didn't even need to do that. So I would say you live and you learn, but clearly I don't live and learn. Clearly I just keep doing the same thing over and over again. But I'm very happy with my shorts. So yeah, that's what we've got going forward. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna go edit this and I will see you in the morning. Bye.